So everybody that's on the conference, uh, if you can hang up and go to Sons of Jacob Tulsa and watch us live. I'm thinking about actually on the conference call on those or anything. Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure everything cool.
Hey, am I lagging?
Yeah.
My laptop might be lagging me. I'm trying on the phone.
You know, that's what it is. Oh, yeah, because it's Wi-Fi.
I mean, I can just join right here. Quickly. I'm waiting for people to.
Let's go tonight, boys. Captain DeBar, I think that's lagging out you.
Yeah.
Trying to break it to us nicely, huh?
I don't know. I was lagging so much on my end.
Yeah, pretty good.
I mean, it might be for them.
All right, so everybody that's Pentecost, we need y'all to migrate to the Sons of Jacob Tulsa YouTube page.
Is it better, Captain?
Yes. Way better.
It was funny.
Yes.
That was real funny, huh? You got jokey jokes.
All right, Con. You about ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Zion in here?
Zion?
Wrong video. Slide in.
Oh, okay. That was last night. Yeah. All right, Con. Let's go. First and foremost, all praises, all honor, and all glory go to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. Con. So, which is the greatest? Which is the greatest? That's tonight's title of the lesson. So we're going to dive into it. Let's kick it off with the opening scripture. Let's get Proverbs 4 and 7. Proverbs 4 and 7.
This is Proverbs. Slaki, go ahead. You got it.
Con. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
So, wisdom is the principal thing. With all that, get understanding. So tonight we're going to dive deep into a few things, into chapter 2 and First Ezra. We're going to read First Ezra chapter 3 and the majority of the 4th chapter. And some of the things that we want to tackle tonight is which is the greatest, women's roles and responsibilities and the power that they do have. Because you see a lot of times, especially when men get a hold of the Bible, sometimes it comes off like pretty harsh and
derogatory when they speak to women, which isn't the case, or that isn't the case for me. I know a lot of the brothers in SOJ don't feel like that, you know. So tonight is kind of it's kind of like a ladies' night, but it's not really a ladies' night. You know, we're gonna dive into a few things, but that is some of the things that we're gonna tackle. So, without further ado, you got anything?
No.
First Ezra chapter 3. Let's get it.
Con. First Ezra chapter 3 and verse 1. First Ezra 3 and verse 1. It says, now when Darius reigned, he made a great feast unto all his subjects, and unto all his household, and unto all the princes of Media and Persia, and all the governors and captains and Luidians that were under him from India unto Ethiopia of 127 provinces. So Salakia, it mentioned Darius and Media and Persia. Darius is the king he's the king over Media and Persia. The third or second kingdom, I believe, is after Babylon. He took down Babylon. So this is during that time. Verse 3, it says, and when they had eaten and drunken and being satisfied, were gone home. Then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept, and soon after awaked. Then 3 young men that were of the guard that kept the king's body spake one to another, let every one of us ask a sentence. He that shall overcome, and whose sentence shall seem wiser than the others, unto him shall the king Darius give great gifts and great things in token of victory.
God. So it was 3 men who was actually keeping guard over King Darius while he slept. It was like they had a council amongst themselves. They was talking amongst themselves. They said, look, whoever can think of the most wisest sentence, they're going to be honored. They're going to receive this. They're going to receive that. They're going to receive this. They're going to receive that. So this was kind of what they was thinking while King Darius was asleep, you know. Let's keep going.
Verse 6, it says, as to be clothed in purple, to drink in gold, and to sleep upon gold, and a chariot with bridles of gold, and an head tire of fine linen, and a chain about his neck.
God, so they're like, whoever can come up with this greatest sentence, the wisest sentence, they're gonna be exalted. They're gonna sleep in gold. They're gonna receive a mitre, like a crown of gold. You know, their clothes is gonna be laced with gold.
Their cups is gold.
Right. What they eating off of is gonna be gold. Basically, they're just gonna be exalted. Whoever can come up with the wisest sentence, right?
Verse 7, it says, and he shall sit next to Darius because of his wisdom, and he shall be called Darius his cousin. And then every one wrote his sentence and sealed it, and laid it under King Darius his pillow, and said that when the king is risen, some will give him the writings, and of those, of whose side the king and the 3 princes of Persia shall judge, that his sentence is the wisest. To him shall the victory be given, as was appointed. The first wrote, wine is the strongest.
So the first man wrote that wine is the strongest. That was the first sentence. Wine is the strongest. Come on.
The second wrote, the king is strongest.
The second man wrote that a king is the strongest. That's the strongest thing on earth. A king. Come on.
The third wrote, women are strongest, but above all things, truth beareth away to the victory.
So the third man wrote that Salakia, women are the strongest on earth, but above the women is the truth. The truth is always gonna get the victory in the end. Those were the 3 wise sentences that they placed underneath the pillow of King Darius. So right now you might be like, thinking about who's the wisest. What do you think? That's actually a good question. Y'all should actually meditate on that and kind of you got something real quick?
Yeah, let's ask the chat. What do y'all think is actually the strongest? I got, I see the comments right now. What do y'all think is the strongest? Wine, women, or the king? What do y'all think? Let y'all meditate on that real quick. Let y'all get the answers out real quick, and we'll keep going.
Woo. Let's go.
We're gonna keep going on it.
This is wisdom right there, man.
Yeah.
That's sweet. This is sweet. Whew. God. All right, I'm ready when you're ready.
My wife with women. She already know the deal though.
I don't.
That is true.
Good.
What is the strongest? We finna touch on what's the strongest.
God. Let's go.
God. God. Verse 13. Now when the king was risen up, they took their writings and delivered them unto him. And so he read them. And sending forth, he called all the princes of Persia and Media, and the governors of the captains, and the lieutenants. Like I ain't know that. And the chief officers, and sat him down in the royal seat of judgment. And the writings were read before them. And he said, call the young men, and they shall declare their own sentences. So they were called and came in.
God. So let's paint the picture. The picture is being painted like this. You have the king sitting on his royal throne. You have all of the princes of Persia and Media. You have his lieutenants, his officers. You can only imagine. You had maids and people tending to him and ministering to him. You know, bringing him water, and it's a what do you call that? It's like a round table with basically what people be doing. Basically, it's really serious right now. So he's calling all of the three men who made the wise sentences. He said, okay, we're going to have these three young men come in here, and they're going to declare their sentences and why they're going to explain why they believe that those, what they stated was the strongest. If that makes sense. Should make sense. Pretty simple.
God. Verse 17. And he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writings. Then began the first who had spoken of the strength of wine. And he said thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine. It causeth all men to err that drink it.
Everybody that drink wine or drink alcohol, you see it all the time. I'm going to grab the precept in Sirach real quick. I believe it's like Sirach 31. Sirach 31, and I'll read 25. I'm going to kind of run through this because, you know, we got a lot of things to cover. So Sirach chapter 31 and 25. Write this down, put it in your notes. It's good. It says, show not thy valiantness in the wine, for wine hath destroyed many. So valiant goes into like strength and mighty. A lot of men will kind of flex and be like, you know, I can drink more than you. Look, watch me take 5 shots in a row. Don't be like that. It says, the furnace proveth the edge. It tells you don't do like that because wine can actually destroy you. A lot of men die behind wine. It says, the furnace proveth the edge by dipping, so doth wine the hearts of the proud by drunkenness. It says, wine is as good as life to a man if it be drunk moderately. So wine is good as long as you're drinking it in moderation and you're not becoming a drunkard or you overindulging in it. The word is surfeiting. You don't want to surfeit and overindulge in it. It says, what life is then to a man that is without wine, for it's made to make men glad. So wine was made, it was created to actually make your heart rejoiceful. You know, it makes men glad. That's why you always see people at parties, they drinking and they have music, because wine and music rejoiceth the heart. It says, wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of heart and cheerfulness of the mind. But wine drunken with excess. So if you drink wine and you're doing it too much, it says it maketh bitterness of the mind with brawling and quarreling. So it makes bitterness of your mind. And a lot of times you see when men get drunk, people start brawling, people start yelling, people start screaming, people start fighting. That's what the scriptures say. And we can see that on a day-to-day level. When people start drinking too much, people don't know how to, people don't know where the line is no more. They kind of step over boundaries. And next thing you know, people are fighting. It says, drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminishes strength and maketh wounds. So wine can actually make you, you know, you have a strong man and he lift weights all the time. But if he drink too much wine, it diminishes his strength. He's not as strong as he is when he's sober. It says, rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine, and despise him not in his mirth. Give them no despiteful words, and press not upon him with urging him to drink. So you're not supposed to, just because someone's in the house of mirth, it's a damn feast day. According to the Bible, you're supposed to rejoice when it's a feast day. You can't get mad at this brother for rejoicing and drinking wine as long as he's doing it in an appropriate manner. And also it says you don't press upon a man urging him to drink. Don't try and force a man. If a man knows that he don't like to drink, and he knows when he drinks, he usually start tripping, don't try and force a man to drink. You know, don't urge him to drink. You got anything?
Nah, keep reading.
Come.
This is First Ezra chapter 3 and verse 18. And he said thus, and he said thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine! It causeth all men to err that drink it. It maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one, of the bondman and of the free man, and of the poor man and of the rich. It turneth also every thought into jolly and mirth, so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor death.
Give me 1 second. I actually got to mark that up. I didn't know that was right. You got something, King?
Con, you can break it down.
Okay, Con, give me 1 second. That's actually fire. I knew it was there, but got to mark it up.
Go ahead and read the precept, Ak.
Con. All right, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 2. Sirach 19 and 2.
That's a good one.
It says, wine and women will make men understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to a harlot will become imputed.
Con.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Say that precept. Hold that real quick. Hold that, 'cause I'm gonna get back at that.
Okay.
Now, what it said was, it maketh the king and the fatherless, it maketh the rich and poor, every man alike. Basically, everybody gets in the same mindset when they're drinking. You know, when you're poor and you drink, you know, you feel rich. You feel like a man of wealth. You don't really feel anything. You just out here doing what you want to do, so on and so forth. It maketh mirth and jolly, just like he read. Wine maketh the heart glad, basically.
Con, let me add this.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 31 and 6. It says, give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of a heavy heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. So wine actually does something to you, like us being in captivity, us going through trials on a day-to-day basis. That's why you'll see men, even when we go on street teach, you'll see it's like we get out there at 3 p.m. and you see men like actually not tipsy, but drunk. They trying to forget their misery. They trying to forget that they in poverty. They trying to forget that they mama, you know, people die, and you know, they trying to forget all these things. So one, like you said, it takes everyone, no matter who you are, to a certain space, you know.
I'm gonna read up. This is Proverbs 31 and 4. It says, it is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for the princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. It's not permitted or good for a king to just sit there and drink in excess, because then he'll become mad. He'll become a mad king. He'll be drunken with philosophy, doctrines. He'll be drunken with all kinds of madness. He'll tell someone to put somebody to death over nothing because he's drunk. Kill him, slay all of them. He'll go to war just because he's drunk. This is a drunk man, just like it said above. In First Ezra, it causes all men to err. Read what you had again, Soldier Kodash.
God. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 2. Wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become imputed.
It says wine and women will make a man of understanding to fall away. What is a man of understanding? It's just like it just said in Proverbs 31, a king. It caused the king to fall away. It caused you to forget the law of the Most High. You get drunk and you don't even remember what happened last night. You went and committed so much iniquity and folly that you don't even get what's going on. Go ahead.
I'm gonna elaborate on that a little bit, if I may, and I want to throw a precept on it. It's a movie called The Hangover. Them brothers, them guys, they went up to the roof. They was taking shots, and somebody slipped something in their drink, and it was crazy. All right. So that's the strength of wine. That's the strength of liquor. So this is Proverbs 23 and 29. It says, and it's a precept that Tahar just in the chat, so kudos to her for the precept. It says, who hath woe, Slakia, who hath woe, who have sorrow, who have contentions, who have babbling, who have wounds without cause, who have redness of eyes. So it's asking all these questions. Who has these things? Who has wounds and they don't know why they have them? Who has red eyes? Who has babblings? Who has contentions? Contentions is brawlings and fightings. It's going to tell you who actually has those things. It says, they that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine. So the people who are actually going through those, you always see that they was, faded. They was drunk. And on a deeper level, this scriptures is going into something on a physical level and on a spiritual level, because the scriptures is that powerful. They do that. It says, look not upon the wine when it is red, when it giveth its color, and the cup when it moveth itself aright. And that part is kind of going to when you see somebody and they real drunk and they kind of like dazing off and they staring at it and they kind of spinning the cup, and you could tell, look, they blinks be like this.
Be a long blink.
Yeah, that's when they start, getting too deep into the wine. And on a spiritual level, that's how you know you're drunk, when you're getting too deep into the wine, and on a spiritual level, you're getting too deep into the wine. Wine is symbolic for doctrines and strange gods and idolatry and fornications on a spiritual level, because you can commit adultery and cheat on the Most High God with another God. You can cheat on your God. Now it's like you're drunk, because when people get drunk, they usually commit fornications. So it says, hold on, let me finish this out real quick. It says, at the last it bittereth like a serpent and stingeth like an adder. So when you finally sober up, it's too late. You didn't already transgress. You didn't already committed fornication. You didn't already went into idolatry. You already done got beat up. Your wallet already gone. That's how strong wine is. It says, thine eyes shall behold strange women, and thine heart shall utter perverse things. Gone. So on another level, whenever you drink wine, it'll have you the Bible is so cold like this. You just got to understand the slang and the codes. It says, thine eyes shall behold strange women. And the strange woman on the spiritual level is different doctrines and philosophies like Christianity and Buddhism. Those are the strange women, right? Because we married to the Most High God through his only begotten son. That's our mediator. But whenever you go in and you drinking wine, and the wine is these philosophies and doctrines and sorceries, people actually dealing with witchcraft and all kind of crazy stuff. You get entangled in them when you're drinking of that cup and you're drinking of that wine, and you start dealing with strange women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, I'm gonna add to what he was saying. It's like going into everybody say they got their limit, they know when they need to stop drinking, so on and so forth. But on the spiritual side, you don't know your limit. You'll try to go into the book of Enoch or something that's bugged out and be like, I know this ain't true, but let me just look in it anyway, see what it's talking about. And you steady sipping and you sipping and you sipping. Next thing you know, you kind of, now you going back and forth. Now you dizzy. It's like, damn, what is Enoch kind of, it's kind of legit. Next thing you know, you bugged out. You didn't drunk too much. Now you drunk. Now you didn't committed a fornication. Now you with a strange woman. That's what that's going into. A woman that's ugly when you're sober turns beautiful when you're drunk.
And on a spiritual level, when you when you actually read in the Bible and you know who you are according to the Bible, that's you being sober. Mm-hmm. You're in your natural element, your natural state of mind. But when you start diving into other things and you getting drunk, them things start to look good. Like, you know what? It's okay if I, commit adultery. It's okay if I just, break the Sabbath today. It's okay if I, you know what? I don't really got to keep commandments.
Yeah, it's just one time.
Right.
It's just one time.
Right. Gotta forgive me. That's you getting drunk. And I want to grab Habakkuk, because chapter 2 and 15.
But this is just to add on to what this man is talking about. He's actually it's some truth behind these sentences.
Mm-hmm. Wine is definitely strong.
Yeah. it's strength in wine. It's so much strength in wine, but it's so much strength in the other ones also. We're gonna get into it, but go ahead.
Con. So this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 15. It says, woe, and you got to know, woe, W-O-E, it's like a code word for destruction, you know? So it says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. So this scripture is deep if you don't really know the code words and how to break it down properly. So we already understand what wine is. We should. Wine could go into doctrine, lies, philosophies, sin, but nakedness also is a symbolic word for sins also. So here in America, they promote a lot of wine. Name something that America promotes. That's wine.
America promotes that's wine.
Like you got something? Go ahead.
It's little stuff. Jesus is white. That's not little, but the little thing I was talking about is you got to get married before you have sex.
Right.
That's something little, but it goes so far.
Right.
Because now everybody believes that sex is in marriage, and they just out here having sex with everybody they want to. Now they're drunk off that. You know, it's little stuff here and there.
Hey, and you know when people drink wine, you don't just go. You take sips, little sips, sip by sip, and eventually you become drunk. And that's what America do. He put the bottle in your mouth, and he make you sip and sip and sip. Hey, another sip that they give us, is like the rainbow. Yep. They tell you that the rainbow, they promote it to use like LGBTQ, whatever it is, community, gay. You know, they use the rainbow to promote that homosexuality, lesbians, you know, queers. But that's not actually what the rainbow represents. It tell you that the rainbow represents, and like Genesis chapter 7, it tell you the rainbow is a sign. That's why after every time it rains, you see a rainbow. And it's a sign to let you know that the Most High God isn't gonna
it's a covenant with the earth.
Yeah, it's a covenant with the earth. The covenant with the earth is that he's not going to flood the earth again. That's why you see the rainbow appear after every time it rains.
Hey, in Ezekiel, it tells you it's a rainbow sitting over his throne.
Right. But they want to tell you that it's made or use it to push homosexuality. That's a little piece of wine, and you sipping it. A lot of people getting drunk, and they don't know that they drunk. Another thing, like they telling little boys that they can be girls. That's wine. And they feeding that to kids. Is it okay for like children, babes, kids to be drinking wine?
No,
of course not. They need milk.
Scriptures say foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. How much more if he drunk?
Right. That's why these code words, you have to be in tune with them on a spiritual level. Kids need milk. You know why? Because the milk nurtures and give them the things that they need to make them grow strong. You know, they gotta get weaned. They need to suck on the breast. You know, we can keep going though, because wine is actually
lucky.
Is actually strong.
What
was that?
Soldier yada die.
Okay, Con, go ahead, King.
I got a precept to what y'all going in on. It's Deuteronomy's 32. I'm gonna read down to 33. Deuteronomy's 32 and 32. It says, for their wine is of the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons and the cruel venom of apes. So like y'all said, going into them different wines, the different doctrines, like I said, y'all go in there, they tell us that it's cool to be gay in America. It's nothing wrong with that. That's they different doctrines. Getting drunken in that wine.
Con, beautiful precept. And if anybody don't know, the vine is what grows the grape, and the grape is what we use to make wine. You know, so that vine is wickedness. Is Sodom. That's what that's going into. You know what I'm saying?
And if you don't,
a beautiful precept.
It is. That's a fire one. That's a fire precept. I gotta recalibrate and put that back in my bag because I ain't seen it in ages. So, like he elaborated on what the vine is. And now you got to understand biblical history and what Sodom and Gomorrah represents also. Now you got to understand that the Most High God destroyed the places, the cities, Sodom and Gomorrah and the other cities that was around it. So Sodom and Gomorrah is places. but them places represent the things that was going on in them places. Like Las Vegas, that's a place, but it represents crazy stuff,
Cities,
right? The city, Sin City.
Sin City, yeah.
That's what it represents. Las Vegas is, what happens
in Las
right,
Vegas
stays.
in Las
That's
Vegas.
that's what it represents. So Sodom and Gomorrah is a place, and that place represents sin, and chiefly, it's all manners of sins that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, but chiefly it was fornication, like homosexuality and adultery and bestiality. Having sex with damn horses and goats, and those were the kind of the sins that were going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why the Most High God destroyed that place. And everything, everything happens for a reason, and there's no new thing under the sun. And America is operating in that same manner as Sodom and Gomorrah. So whether you want to believe it or not, based off of history, we know that history repeats itself. America is bound to get destroyed too. First Ezra though.
This is First Ezra chapter 3 and verse 21. It says, and it maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor, and it maketh to speak all things by talents. And when they are in their cups, they forget their love, both to friends and brethren.
Bruh.
And the little after draw out swords.
Bruh, why is it worded like that though?
No, that's hidden.
He said, and when they are in their cups. You know how somebody be drinking and they start feeling themselves and they kind of like, in their cup. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I'm gonna start using that. Why is the Bible so smooth? Like, yeah, you in your cup, huh? Yeah, you in your cup. It says when he in his cup, they forget their love, both to friends and brethren. They forget how to show brotherly love. Now they tell you a drunk mind speaks what? The sober truth.
Yeah.
The truth start coming out. He don't really love you, and you start acting weird.
Mm-hmm. Because it told you in the verse above that he remembereth neither king nor governors. And the king back then was not how it is today. The king back then was a scary man. You didn't want to cross sight with the king. You didn't want to see him. You didn't want him coming to your door. But when you drunk, hell, I don't know who the king is.
Right.
I don't know who the governors are.
What can they do to me?
Yeah, and he start bugging out. He start, getting dizzy. He looking at you and shit, I don't know who you is either. All his love is gone now. He just, like you said, he in his cup. He in his bag.
Right.
He feeling himself. He woozy. He lagging. Everything ain't normal with that brother. Why? Because he's in the wine. He's drunk. He don't care. His spirit's in that man now. The scriptures say, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walketh around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. When you sober, you can be vigilant, you can look out, but when you drunk, you can't do that.
Yeah, you're not on point when you're drunk.
That's why when you get pulled over, the police tell you to walk a straight line. Next thing you know, you stumbling, you falling, you teeter-tottering, and then you going to jail. You're not on point. You're not at 100%.
Right.
How much more do you think it's a portal to demons for you?
Yeah,
I already told you that how spirits work. An unclean spirit will leave you and then it'll come back and then bring no more spirits like them.
Stronger ones.
Yeah, he'll wait till you get drunk. Go get bros, come back. You wake up, you don't know what happened.
Hey, that's why on a worldly standpoint, when people or men get set up, it's always they usually try and set him up after he's drunk or after he after he's under the influence, no matter what kind of drug. So whatever this man's drug is, if he like to drink or pop pills, they will have him pop pills and then they'll rob him because he's not as strong. You could be the strongest man. You can have the best aim in the world with a Glock. But if you've messed up off drugs, you're not on point. Anybody can take advantage of you.
Yeah.
So I want to put this out because I know he loved the scripture and he showed it to me. This is Proverbs chapter 20:8. It says, a king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes.
Okay, you got it.
No, you got it.
All right, So like I said, the king was a scary man back then. It says right there that the king scattered away all evil with his eyes. All he got to do is just look at you. If it's a righteous king like King David, imagine King David on the throne and you bring him some bad news or something ill will,
Or say something stupid.
Yeah, some brother came up to King David and was like, I killed Saul's son. I did it because I knew y'all were enemies. King David said, you think I'm proud of you for shedding innocent blood? And he killed him on the spot.
He said, who are you to touch the Most High God's anointed?
Yeah, who are you? And he killed him on the spot. It was brothers that was scared of Solomon. Why? Because Solomon just scattering away evil with just a single glimpse of his eyes. He just look at you and your heart start beating. And you start sweating. You ain't even did nothing wrong. It's just like, damn.
You can feel
I can die.
You can feel, you know what the world always say? They say vibes and energy.
Yeah.
No, nigga, that's his spirit. His spirit powerful.
Brother got a weird vibe.
Right.
He's cold.
Right.
No, he ain't
know?
cold. That brother's righteous.
Right.
You know, the king can kill you and get away with it.
That's true. And that's why you see a lot of our people here in America getting killed and they get away with it.
Con.
You know? Let's keep going.
Con, this is First Ezra chapter 3 and verse 23. It says, but when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done.
Hey, when they wake up the next day, they don't remember what they done because the wine is that strong.
It says, O ye men, is not wine the strongest that enforceth to do thus? And when he had so spoken, he held his peace.
So after he showed them why, showed them the wise statement that he made, the wise sentence, he elaborated on it, and then he held his peace, man.
Yeah. Con, chapter 4, verse 1. Then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them?
Hey. Hey, so he giving you the blueprint. He's telling you, look, when you're just looking at a man in general, you see how mighty he is. You know, you put any beast next to a man, and the man usually excels because men have wisdom, men have knowledge, men have understanding. It tells you in Sirach chapter 17, the Most High God gave us our 5 senses, like touch, sight, smell, hearing, and your nose. But he told you he gave us more than just 5 senses. He departed to us understanding. You know, like you see a man jump off of a bridge and kill himself, or off a building and kill himself. He gave us the understanding, like he jumped off the bridge and killed himself because his mom died. You know, he gave us that. That's another sense. You know, it's not just 5 senses. He gave us more. He gave us the ability to communicate, right? You know, other animals, they don't have like voice boxes like us to where they communicate. Well, we were just talking about this the other night. Animals communicate with each other mainly based off body language. Body language makes up like 80% of all communication. But he actually gave us words to utter and to be able to understand words that have been uttered. That's another, you know, sense. Communication. Everybody don't have that. So this is one of the reasons why men, it's going to go into it, the king is stronger than anything. It tells you that he placed all things under men, like the whole earth is ruled and governed by a man. Even though you have a gorilla who's stronger than a man, we know that men are still stronger in their own way, in their own right. Vice versa with all animals. Why is all of the animals hey, if all these animals are stronger than us, why are men able to subdue these animals and place them in like circuses and to train them and place them in zoos and stuff? Because the Most High God gave us the strength. He allowed us to have dominion over the whole earth, you know, and he's going to elaborate on it some more.
Con, I want to read this verse 2. It says, O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them. Now, when you go into that word sea, I'm going to get Revelation 17 and 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So the king has rulership over all the nations. You know, whoever is the highest king at that time, he rules over all nations. Another nation is not finna cross that king. He ruleth over them. Here go an example. This is Ezra chapter 1 and verse 2. Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth. King Cyrus had the dominion and the rulership, and he was over all kingdoms of the earth. This is why a king is so powerful. This is why he written that the king is the strongest. He written this because, you know, King David, he had rulership over everything. Solomon, he had 40 years of peace because nobody wanted to cross him. He ruled from Dan even to Beersheba. You know, that's a wide amount of land. When you read about Alexander the Great, and you see how much land that man actually conquered,
Mind blowing.
mind blowing.
And such a 12 years or so?
Yeah, it was in
very
a short time span, a short great expansion. You know, that's why he's saying that the king is the strongest. You know, but we can keep going if you ain't got nothing.
God, we can keep going.
God. Verse 3, it says, but yet the king is more mighty, for he is the Lord of all these things, and hath dominion over them. And whatsoever he commandeth, they slack it. Whatsoever he commanded them, they do.
God, so he's going on his he's making his position stronger by telling you that a king can do whatever he want at any time because he have dominionship and lordship and authority over not only just everyone in his kingdom, not just the whole province, the land, over the sea. Like this king is nothing that anybody can tell this man. You know, he's mighty.
Like the captain always say, Captain Jeremiah, he like, whatever the king say, that's the commandment.
That's a new commandment.
That's that. You know, it ain't no going against that. If he makes a decree, it's done. It ain't no going back on it. Only he can cancel his decree.
Right. If he tell you, you have to walk backwards. That's a law. That's commandment.
Damn it, you gotta walk backwards.
If he tell you, like, you cannot drive on the right hand side of the road, you got to drive on the left hand side of the road. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, King. You know, that's how powerful he is. If he say, look, I need y'all to go into Babylon and just utterly annihilate everyone, men, women, children, beast. I need you to kill everybody. He's that strong. He sends armies. He sends garrisons and troops, and he gets that done because he's that strong.
Yeah, and if you don't do it, there's punishments. It's not punishments like today, like prison. No, they got something called like stocks back then, where they had 3 holes. You put your head in and your arms in,
Mm-hmm.
and you sit there for days at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Some people throw stuff at you. Some people mess with you. You just sit there, or chop his head away with him, kill him. It's that simple. You're not finna spend 50 years in prison. No, we're not finna feed you. No,
Right.
You're either dead or you sitting in them stocks, simply because he didn't do what? The king's commandment.
Right.
Simple as that. This is like First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 4. If he bid them to make war the one against the other, they do it.
Right.
If he send them out against their enemies, they go and break down mountains, walls, and towers. The scripture says that he goes and breaks down mountains.
If the king said go, you gotta go.
You gotta go. We see what Pharaoh did. He told them to build pyramids. Pyramids as high as the sky. What do? They built pyramids. We seen what happened back in Babel when under King Nimrod. Build a tower that reached heaven. We tried to build a tower that reached heaven. Why? Because the king said so.
Right.
It's just as simple as that. Verse 5. They slay and are slain and transgress not the king's commandment.
You don't transgress the king's word. Let's keep going.
If they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well the spoil as all the things else.
So when the king sent them off to go conquer another people, the spoil is the things that you take after you won the war, and they would bring all of that back to the king. You know, that's how powerful he is.
I'm looking for something.
God, I'm already knowing. It's probably good. It's hitting.
It's where Samuel was telling
So he messed up.
telling it they don't need a king.
Oh, I don't know that one by heart. It's gotta be. I don't know that one by heart.
I said lock you out of one.
Kind of go ahead.
I got a precept showing where even Solomon was kings over kings.
Kind of bring that out.
1 Kings 4:24. And it says, for he had dominion over all the region on this side the river, but Tezaz, even to Azar, over all the kings on that side the river, and he had peace on all sides round about him.
This man is on fire tonight. Both of them precepts he put is cool. So this precept just stated that our king, King Solomon, he was not just a king over us, he was kings over other kings. You know, that's some G stuff right there. Go ahead though.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 9. It says, "Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of king that shall reign over them." So this is the Most High speaking unto Samuel, telling them if they desire a king, you know, do according to they say. Let them have a king, but tell them what kind of king they will have over them. Tell them how the king's mind works.
It's not all sweet, man.
How they act. You know, we only wanted a king because we seen the other nations had kings. When the Most High God wanted to be our king,
right.
But we wanted a man. We wanted flesh and blood, something not perfect to be our king. Verse 10. "And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them in the ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of chariots." So Samuel's telling them he's going to take your sons, you know, and turn them into men of war, you know, without their consent. He's going to turn them and make them men of war. They got to come here now, you know. They was at the house, but now they got to spend 3 months over here. Why? Because I'm the king. I said so. That's why.
And you got to know something too. When people waged war on each other, when countries went to war, nations went to war, it wasn't just a few days. War could last years upon years. I was just reading 1 Kings chapter 17 today, and it tell you that the Assyrian king besieged Samaria for like, I want to say it was like 9 years. I want to say 9. And besiege means to just circle around about.
Yeah, and camp around them niggas.
Yeah, I want to say it was 9 years. It's like 6 or 9 or something like that, man. It took a minute just to starve them out. It took like 6 or 9 years. Just to starve them out. It took that long, you know. Go ahead though.
First Samuel.
You want me to read it?
8 and 13. Yeah.
Verse 13 says, "And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers."
So the king's house is pretty big. So he needs women. He needs women to take care of it. You know, he needs women to cook for him, to clean. He needs women to cook for other people.
Feast.
Because he's the king.
Yeah.
You know, it's a feast going on. I need your daughter. You know, I'll write you a note, tell her when I need her, so on and so forth. This is what you desired. You wanted a king. This is the power the king has. He can do this. Go ahead.
"And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants."
So boom, he got some men that's ruling with him. Yeah, I like that land right there. You know, I'm gonna take that from him. I can do that.
The best lands.
I can do that. I like that. I like them grapes you got right there. I need them. You know, have you not heard of the king's feast coming up? We need that. Why? He's the king. That's his strength. Go ahead.
Verse 15 says, "And he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards and give to his officers and to his servants."
So he can take a 10th part of everything you have and give it to his servants and officers. He can do that. Go ahead.
"And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work."
He can take your maid servant, your manservant, and your sons, your good young men, your strong men, and put them to his work. Yeah, I need you over here in the field doing this for me. Yeah, I need you over here spinning this. I need you to build me a house over here. I need that. I like that. That looks good right there. I need you on the wall. We need a big wall around the city. You know, we need that going on. Go ahead.
It says, "He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen." It's like him. "And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you. And the Lord will not hear you in that day."
It says that Israel will cry because of the king that we have chosen. This is not one king. This is the manner of all kings. This is the manner of all men when they get power. They have that power. They can do that.
Imagine having a dumb man as your king, like a foolish man as
Yeah.
your king. He can get everybody killed.
No, imagine a mad king. There was such thing back then as a mad king. Kill everybody. Go slay everybody.
Man.
You know? And guess what? The soldiers will listen.
Yeah.
They'll go slay their own families just because the king said so. Go slay everybody in the town. Leave nobody. And he's talking about his own town. He's talking about his own town, a mad king. Go slay and kill everyone. Leave no one alive. They want to transgress me. I'm God. That's how they start pushing it. That's how kings start pushing it.
Yeah.
I'm God. How can they, do this to me? They start pulling over chalices, kill everybody. I'm the Lord.
Right. So I wanted to throw a historical account, a factual account on this. So everybody know about the Greeks and the Romans, the Roman Empire. When it changed to a Roman Empire, you had emperors, and the emperors were kings over that empire, right? So this is one of their kings. His name is Caligula. He reigned from 37 AD to 41 AD, and he ruled ancient Rome through fear and terror, rampaging through Rome, committing murder, adultery, and acts of debauchery. His reign came to an abrupt end when he was brutally assassinated after only 4 years. So lately I've been trying to study like ancient empires, which this isn't even that long ago, but it is an ancient empire. It was a man named Caligula, and his thing was to go through the city, committing adulteries and murders and just doing whatever he wanted. And then he was assassinated. Yeah. That's a real thing.
The Lord will put an end to that.
Yeah.
When madmen start, because the scriptures say the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. Mm-hmm. So if a king start going around, start saying that he's God, he's the Lord, he's this and that, he can do whatever he want. That's when the Most High appear. He shows up. We had a king that did that in Maccabees, and he got an incurable disease, and he died rotten.
Right.
Literally. The kingdom is within. That brother, he pulled a solid precept. This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 3. It says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So kind of perfect precept. It says an unwise king destroyeth his people. Just like he said, a foolish king or a mad king, someone who's unwise, he will destroy his own people. He'll go to war when it's the wrong season. We're not supposed to go to war yet. We can't. We don't have enough men. We don't have enough manpower. The wall isn't built. We can't go to war yet.
Hey, sometimes people don't understand how much money it actually costs to make a war.
It's manpower.
You have to feed soldiers. You have to pay soldiers. Now imagine if you have a huge army. You can go bankrupt in a war.
Yeah. Imagine having a huge army, like he said. A huge army back then, maybe it'd be about 200,000. That's a huge army back then. The Bible described that as millions. Imagine trying to go out 200,000 men into one area that's out of your city. They gotta take sheep with them. They gotta take flocks. They gotta take this and that. They gotta feed them. Next thing you know, the town is in hunger. They won the war, but the town is destroyed damn near. The king is on the way. He's out with his men. The king is sometimes one of the first men to go out to war with people. But, it takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of city power. It takes a lot of money, wealth. It takes all that. And all of that power is in the king.
Yeah.
It falls on the... Go ahead, Captain.
Salakia. Yeah, I want to touch on that a little bit because that's what happened. That's exactly what happened in World War I. The reason why it stopped is because they ran out of gold to be able to supply their soldiers in the midst of the war. So they had to stop the war. That's why we got now our tax dollars being taken away from us and being set to the military or the armies to make sure that they're supplied. That's why they have all the high technology things, because that's where all our tax dollars is going. But Salakia.
Just like the scripture said, that's the manner of all kings. He take a 10th part of everything and give it to his officers. I mean, it's just, you can say the Bible fake, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I see it. You got something?
The Bible cannot be fake. It deals with the Roman Empire. It deals with America. It deals with the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, ancient Egypt. It deals with all of these great kingdoms by name, and detailed prophecies, things that didn't happen yet. It played out, So we're living in a time of prophecy. That's why we believe in the Bible so heartily and choose to try and live our life in a godly manner. But back to the king, whether the king is right or wrong, he has that power. That's what makes him so strong and dangerous. Let's keep going though.
This is First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 6. Salaki, verse 5. It says, they slain are slain and transgress not the king's commandment. If they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well as the spoil, as all things else. Likewise, for those that are no soldiers and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they had sown, they bring it to the king and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king.
God. So a king, I was reading this in First Kings chapter 7, or Slakia, 2 Kings chapter 17. When the kingdom was rent, right before the northern kingdom went into captivity, they was besieged. But before that, Hoshea, the king over the northern kingdom, he was supposed to pay tribute and give certain gifts and presents to the Shalmaneser, the Assyrian king. So whenever this is how a king can have a lot of money and riches and become, or what is the word I'm looking for? Strengthen his empire by making certain other kingdoms beneath him and make them pay tribute. Like, you got to give me 300 pieces of silver each month, or 30 talents of gold each month. That's how a king would get more money in his kingdom. Like America is actually in debt to a whole bunch of different nations, like trillions and billions of dollars, things like that. That's how they would actually build up their kingdom. We can keep going though.
Verse 7, it says, and yet he is but one man. If he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare.
I don't need a breakdown.
It says, yet he is one man. Ooh, that's fire. All right, if he command to smite, they smite. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate. If he command to build, they build. If he command to cut down, they cut down. If he command to plant, they plant. So all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh and taketh his rest. And what is that going into? He lieth down, eateth and drinketh. He's just like us. He's just a man. But yet he has all this power. He is the Lord over the world. He rules and has dominionship over the world. He figures out what's going to happen. He has to make the decisions on his own. Sometimes he talks to his officers. Well, I don't like that plan. Do it this way.
Yeah.
Sometimes his officers is there to give him wisdom. Give him some help on certain things. Sometimes, what if he doesn't want to listen? That's where the unwise king come in. But the point is one man, and he has all this power. If he commanded to cut down, he cut down. If he commands to make desolate, they make desolate. They do away with everything on his commandment.
Sheesh.
He doesn't have some,
he don't answer to nobody,
power.
Man.
He doesn't, he can't fly. He can't,
you
actually rest.
The king could be our size. I'm not that strong.
No, literally. Back then, it would be, if the king died, his son would rule. And what if his son is 10 years of age?
That's actually happened plenty of times.
Plenty of times. His son is 10 years of age and he's ruling. He's a child. He's not even a man yet. He hasn't seen war. He hasn't seen blood. He's a child.
Yeah.
And he's making moves. Yeah, well, I want to build a candy store right here. Let's build a candy store. And guess what? They'll do it. Or you die. Quick.
He can actually command people to die, and he 12 years old, man.
He can use people as action figures. Actually, a lot of kings have. A lot of kings used to play chess with humans. I want you, B7, move over to A12. I want you to do that. And when you get over there, you actually fight him and you slay him.
Yeah.
That's how they played chess back then. But man, the scriptures say, yet, it says, It says, furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh and taketh his rest. This is a regular man like me and you.
Yeah.
Could have been a child. It could have been an old fool. It could be anybody, but he's the king. You got to do what he say. You got something? I know you look at something.
This is 2 Kings. I knew this off the top, but I don't know why I was searching for it so hard. So this is 2 Kings chapter 22 and verse 1. It says, Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Josiah was a righteous king too, you know.
God, luckily.
Yeah, but he was 8 years old when he began to reign. This man he ain't even there yet. But let's keep going.
God, verse 9. Salakia, verse 11. First Ezra 4 and 11. And these keep watch round about him, neither may anyone depart and do his own business, neither disobey they him at anything. And what is that going into? That's going into his security, his bodyguards. They have to be there. They can't go home to their wives and kids. No, I have to watch. They stand there with the little with the spear,
right,
and they hold it. No, you cannot answer. What do you need? The king didn't call you. Leave. Simply. Verse 12. It says, "O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest, when in such sort he is obeyed, and he held his tongue?" That's cold. He walked out. He got the scroll. He reading the scroll. How is he not the strongest? He closed the scroll.
And he dip about it there.
I'm out. Call me with my chain here. Call me when y'all give me my gold.
This is equivalent to Job's mic
drop.
Right.
He out of there.
That's in there.
That is that's a wise sentence this brother gave. He said the king the strongest. If I was a regular man in that room, I'd be like, damn, he got a solid case. The king is the strongest. That's beating wine right now. That's a solid case he's bringing.
Yeah.
So, let's see what the third brother bring. Oh man, this is getting hot.
It's getting hot.
It's getting hot.
God, we've been waiting for this, man. Let's go.
God. Verse 13, First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 13. Then the third, who had spoken of women and of the truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak.
Ooh,
he's getting hot.
My man Zerubbabel in the cut. So his position is that women is the strongest. Women is stronger than wine and stronger than the king. That's his position. Now we finna see why he feel like that.
All right, God. Verse 14. It says, "O ye men, it is not the great king nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine."
He going there cutting people up. He going in there tearing down all of this. He said everything y'all just brung, the wine, the king, nah, they ain't got nothing on the women. Why though? Why is he saying this?
It says, "Neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women?" It says, "Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by the sea and land."
So he kind of building up to it. Yeah. Like everybody come from a woman, first off.
Come on.
Hey, and we might have to jump back up and give context on this verse 15, but we're going to keep going for now.
Verse 16. "Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards in Salakia, that planted the vineyards from whence the wine cometh."
Hey, the wine that y'all brothers are sipping on, you got to know it was the women that was actually out there in the vineyard.
They made the wine.
Yeah, they was out there planting the vineyard and letting the grapes grow. And that's how you even able to drink wine. So he kind of building up his case. Real slight like.
Really?
Right.
It says, "These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be."
Right, because all men have to be born through a woman. So he's kind of making this point real smooth right now.
Verse 18. "Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty?"
Hey, so he's spitting right now.
Yes.
He said, look, the king, he got all this gold, he got all of this beautiful things. What do he do with it? He gives it to his woman.
Me and my daddy used to talk all the time. We used to be like, you only get the car to impress the girl.
Yeah.
You don't actually you're not into the car. You get the stuff that she into. If she in the shoes, damn, my shoe game nice. If she in the jewelry, I got the best chain on ever.
Right.
I'm doing this to get you.
Right.
My daddy said, he said, if men could have sex with women in a cardboard box, they would. If they didn't have to impress women and could just get it in the cardboard box, they would do that. If they didn't have to impress women, they would. But no, men has to go out their way and get these extra things. They have to get this house. They have to get this mansion. Why? Because she likes it. She likes it. It ain't because I like it. I don't care.
Right.
She likes it. Verse 19. It says, and letting all those things go, do they not gape and even with an open mouth fix their eyes fast on her?
Right.
And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever?
Like he said, and letting all of those things go, do they not gape and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? You know, that's why when a woman, she walking around, she kind of looking like what's the word? Like a harlot, like a hoe. You see, brothers, they
Jake over there,
right? You know, getting stared at because a man would he'd put a woman before anything.
Seriously,
Really?
That's scary though.
Yeah,
that is
they got
true.
that much power.
That is true.
They will actually, like, I will die for you.
Yeah, brothers.
I will put you before anything.
Brothers bow down to their wives.
You're not gonna die for no one.
So like you know. Hey,
You
y'all remember when we was at camp and the dude was like, I choose my wife over the Most High. It was
bro,
crazy.
he said he's more afraid of his
wife
woman than God.
I said, who do you fear, God or your woman? He said, my woman. I said, what? And I kind of like, I wanted to stop talking to him. I'm like, shit, you can just go up the block, bro. I don't even got nothing to say.
You gonna get me killed, bro.
Yeah. If I want anymore, I might be done.
Right. Hey, so like it real quick. If his woman was to be like, I don't like him, kill him, I might die because he is afraid of his wife. You know. Seriously. Go ahead though.
Hey, that's exactly what Jezebel was doing. She was putting people to death through the name of Ahab, putting people to death.
Oh, seriously, man.
Hey, but I was gonna say too, Kevin Gates, man, he got a song saying he will go to war with God behind a woman. So that's definitely factual.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. When he said that part, I don't sing it. Yeah,
that's shaky.
Hey,
I go to war with God behind you.
Lucky, if I may.
Go ahead, Badash.
Was there an account where was it Paul or somebody that got beheaded because of a woman?
John the Baptist. Yeah, hey, we gotta talk. That's a perfect account. Let's go to Matthew, like chapter 3. I think that was that. That's a good account, man. I'm glad you brought that up. That's fitting. This brother been
Nah, that's when John the Baptist hit the scene.
What I call?
You said Matthew chapter 3. I think
It's Matthew chapter 2.
Matthew 3 is when John hit the scene.
All right, Con, hold on. It's Herod chapter 2. Look, verse 12. No. Thinking about, it was his birthday. That's what I'm looking for.
Bro, it's Matthew 14.
14.
I'm like, he hitting the scene at Matthew 3.
Dang, I'll just know that.
It's all good.
It's all right. Matthew 14.
This is Matthew.
Dang, that's far.
14 and 2.
You know I had a 2 in it.
All right, it says, and said unto, so I'm gonna start at 1. And at that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Yahushua, and said unto his servants, this is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. So this is Herod being scared of Yahushua because he's thinking it's John the Baptist. Why is he thinking it's John the Baptist? Why is he scared of John the Baptist? We finna find out. Verse 3, for Herod had laid on John, for had laid hold on John and bound him and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife.
So you got it, King.
So Herod had took John and bound him and put him in prison. Why? For Herodias. Who's Herodias? That's his brother's wife. But it's weird. Why is it his brother's wife? What is that going into? Verse 4, for John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her. So Herod was trying to mess with his brother's wife. And John the Baptist, he's so cold. He told, this is the king. He told the king, nigga, it's not lawful for you to have her. You know this. I don't even know. I'm telling you, you know it's not lawful for you to have her. But let's keep going. Verse 5. And when he had put him to death, and when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them, and it pleased Herod, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. So Herodias' daughter, his brother's wife's daughter, came and danced on him, and he said, whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Why? Because he tied up with this woman right now. Her beauty.
That's the strength of a woman.
Stumbling out the beauty of a woman. You know what that is?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's Proverbs 31 and 30, I believe. It's been a minute.
No, I think it's Sirach 25.
It is. I'll grab it real quick.
Hold on.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Salakia. But...
Oh, no. This is the favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. Woman.
It's like off.
No, I didn't. Was I saying them?
I thought you was.
Oh, that's the strength of a woman.
Yeah.
Her strength is not. This is the difference between. We're going to talk about this later. There's a difference between a strength that a man has, and it's a different strength that a woman has. So whenever Paul is giving you the order, or God is giving you the order, and the breakdown on who's the head of the house and who's above the man, and whenever he's giving that, it's not to say that the woman isn't strong or that you don't have any power or to strip you of everything. It's not like that. But you got to understand where your power, where it is, But go ahead. I know the bar got that precept.
God, this is Sirach chapter 25 and 21. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure.
So right now, Herod is stumbling at the beauty of a woman. It was his birthday. He get danced on.
This is why we don't celebrate birthdays. They wicked as hell.
They wicked.
Right.
He getting danced on and stumbling at the beauty of a woman. The water for the precept.
Yeah, I got another one too.
Go ahead.
God, this is Sirach chapter 9 and verse 8. It says, turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman and look not upon another's beauty, for many have been deceived by beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire.
Right. Go into it.
Yeah.
God, so like the brother is saying, stumbling out the beauty of a woman. Hey, just like Jezebel was a beautiful woman, she had to do crazy stuff, which is go against the Most High God, his prophets, just off the fact of her beauty.
And when you see old movies, like if y'all ever watch 300, y'all see it's beautiful woman in there, but they're harlots. They dressed up in all this silk and gold, and they touching you, and they want you to do certain things. They giving you what you want, but in the end, they're gonna get what they want. Mm-hmm. A lot of men have gotten robbed over the beauty of a woman. A lot of men have sinned because of the beauty of a woman. But let's keep going into John the Baptist and Herod. This is Matthew 14 and 7.
I got you. Verse 7 says, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask.
This is the power of the king now. You can have whatever you want. Anything in the land, ask, and I'll give it. You can ask for the kingdom, and I'll give it. Go ahead.
Verse 8, and she being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John the Baptist's head in a charger.
So John the Baptist, she was before instructed, because the women know what kind of power they had back then. They knew. She was instructed by her mother. Who was her mother? That's the one Herod wanted. His brother's wife. Mm-hmm. He wanted her. So she sent her daughter to go in there, seduce him. Get him to say something that you want. Get him to ask. Go ahead.
Just imagine the subtlety and all of the things that she was pulling on that man's heart, the strings of his heart. She probably in there belly dancing with gold jingle bells on, and probably got eyeliner back to her ear,
Yeah, with a little veil over her face.
With a little veil over there to make, she come in there crouching.
He probably off the liquor a little bit.
Right, he probably off the wine a little bit, and she come down and bow down and say, look him in the eyes.
Yeah. Lord. He in his cup now.
Now, bro, in his cup, and he like, I'm well pleased with this. You can ask me for anything.
Yep. And
he made an oath.
We seen the power of the king. Ask me for anything. Now the power of the woman. is the seduce part. She can get anything she wants from the king.
Yeah.
Verse
Hey, and when you think about that, think about how strong a king is. But think about if the woman can seduce that man, she's just as strong as the king.
Really?
Right?
She asked for John the Baptist's head in a charger. What is a charger? That's a silver platter.
You know, when like in the back then, like a couple hundred years ago, they were like the maids, they're coming to the room and they have a big platter of food and drinks and, you know, glasses and, you know, that's the platter.
Yep.
John the Baptist's head was on the platter.
Kind. Verse 9.
Verse 9. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her.
So now the king was sorry. He was like, damn, why she asked for John? Because he feared John. He didn't want to kill John. Why? Because the people thought that he was a prophet.
Yeah.
He's baptizing people. The king could never kill John the Baptist. Why would he do that? You know? But for the oath's sake, the king, you know, he's the king. His word is bond. He got that. And for the people around the table, he like, damn, I literally just told everybody here that like I give her whatever she asks. I can't renege now. You know, I can't just go back on it now. So he commanded it should be given to her. Verse 10.
Verse 10 says, and he sent and beheaded John in the prison.
Go ahead.
Verse 11, and his head was brought in the charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother.
So he was brought the charger and he gave it to the first woman that he wanted to deal with, her mother. He gave it to her. She asked for it. That's the power of a woman. That's the power of a wicked woman, though.
Yeah.
You know?
And y'all, we're going to get into that, man. We're going to get into that. So after we finish out what we wanted to talk about first, we're going to dive into how a woman should be using her power.
Solid point, Kodash. Go ahead.
Can I bring out this account in First Kings dealing with Solomon?
Con.
I'm gonna read First Kings chapter 11. I'm gonna start from 1 and read down to 4.
Yeah, wise. I know you.
It's crazy because we know Solomon was all wisdom, so this is crazy to even. This account always messes me up.
Me too. I'm right here with you though.
Okay. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidines, and Hittites. Verse 2, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. Verse 3, and he had 700 wives, princes, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. Verse 4, for it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as with the heart of David his father. That just always messes me up. Man of all wisdom was able to turn away from the Most High. That's crazy.
Like he should have seen it coming. He should have knew better. You got some fire?
No,
it's 17. It's telling you about the king, right?
I just got a point.
I'm thinking 17 to 17. Go ahead though.
I just got a point.
Go ahead.
I always just think that too, because you know, the scriptures say that Solomon was the wisest to walk, and he knew the beginning, ending, midst, and you know all of that. He knew all of that. So the thing that make me cope with how he went off is it was just his lot. You know, he knew it was ordained. You can't really escape that. You know, Proverbs 16:33 tell you the lot is cast to the lap, but the whole disposing of is of the Lord. Mm-hmm. You know, even though he the wisest, and you know he can't avoid judgment. So.
Right, and you can't avoid destiny. That's the word I would use for right now.
Without a doubt.
You know, and also, you know, men love women.
I was about to say that. He said, I'm about to say the Most High placed the women in his life, and that power, that woman, them women turned his ass.
And you know, the women just the perfect. Yo, go sit down somewhere. So you know, hey, that was probably his thorn in the flesh, because Solomon knew it all. He knew it all, man. But he couldn't escape what the Most High God already ordained, and it was ordained that through him the kingdom would be departed into two after him. You know. But it wouldn't get ripped out of his hand because he had already promised to David that his son would reign on the throne, you know. But the point has still been made. you got to be careful with unrighteous women or women that's not of your nation, because at the end of the day, it's very possible for them to pull you away from the Most High God, you know, and what you know is right. So that's real big. Solomon knew. It's not that he had the wives, it's that he allowed the wives to let him go into idolatry, you know. So that's real big.
Can I go to Nehemiah? And I mean, they kind of elaborate even on what we speaking on right now.
Solomon, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Nehemiah chapter 13 and 26.
Right.
It says, did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations were there no king like him, who was beloved of his God. And God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin.
Hey, man. And we're going to get into it to some more. It don't matter how strong you think you might be, man. It don't matter. The Most High God can. Hey, he direct man's steps.
You know over that.
Hey, so it's not a knock to women. It's just a righteous balance. Women have the power to bring a man down, but we also know that women have the power to push a man up. And we're gonna grab some precepts and we're gonna dive into it, because let's go. This is what we're here for. Let's keep going on First Ezra, though, and then we're gonna get back to the sweet part, man.
First Ezra chapter 4, verse 17. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without woman cannot men be. Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver. Salakia, where we at? Verse 20. Verse 20. A man leaveth his own father that brought him up in his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country.
So the point of the fact of the matter is, Captain DeBoer, like you say, at the end of the day, a man, after he gets a woman, he begins to start his life over with his woman. They want flesh now.
He leaves off with her.
Yeah, he done getting nursed. He don't need his daddy to take care of him no more. He don't need his mama to rub his wounds no more, and he got a wife now. That's all. Let's keep going.
Verse 22. By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman?
Hey, this is powerful.
It is.
Why do like if you got a family, men wake up every day, no matter how they feeling, and they go to work. They come back from work and they do it the next day and the day after that and the day after that. Why do we do all of that? Hey, for our women, for our kids, for our household, don't they have? That's power right there, You grabbing something?
Yeah.
What is it?
Let me grab what dominion means.
Oh, okay, con. Man, I got to read that again, though. It says, by this ye must know that women have dominion over you. And on a certain level, women, they do have dominion over you, power over you. Go ahead, though.
This is dominion from Merriam-Webster. It says ruling or controlling power. That's what women have. They have, some women have that manipulative kind of spirit, Yeah. But what he talking about is, we work for the women. They don't work. They sit at home. They not saying that they don't work. They work, but not the kind of work that the men put out for it. The men go hunt and do all this and that, and they bring back to what? To the woman. They clean this up, cook this up for me, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. At the end of the day, we kind of work for our women. Yeah. This is what it's going into.
23.
It says, yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers.
Come on.
And looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness. And when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love.
Look at how it's worded, though. Like, why is the Bible this accurate? Why is this accurate? He said a man he said he'd take his sword. It's not necessarily a sword no more, but it's a Glock, it's a gun or whatever. And a man that take his weapon, he'd go his way to rob, steal, kill.
Hey, it says he goeth across the sea. He coming back. It says he goeth press close. It says he'll go to a lion. This is Proverbs 30 and 30. A lion which is strongest among beasts,
Right.
and turneth not away for any. The lion is not turned away, not for anybody. Back in the day, if you had a boat, you know that the sea is unforgetful. It's tempest. You know, you don't go out on sea just for no regular ass journey. You go out on sea if you need to.
If you have to.
You don't fight no lion unless you need
have
to.
to.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't steal unless you have to. But he did all this to bring it back to who? His love.
That's how. That's the strength of a woman.
That's cool.
You know, that's scary that y'all actually had that much strength.
Come on now. That's
right, you can get killed.
That's crazy.
You know.
That's crazy.
Hey, hey, say what you said the other day to me. You said,
I say a lot.
Hey, it was crazy though. You said, you was talking about your rib. You was like, you don't know how much power you have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
tell them.
I told my wife a while back because she was talking to her friends, and I just laughed. I was like, you don't even know how much power you and y'all friends got. And she was like, what you mean? I was like, if you bring any matter to me, whether it's true or whether it's a lie, you know, and it's something that's wrong or offends me, I'll tear up the whole town. Imagine if your wife lied to you about something, saying somebody put their hands on her. You messing the whole city up just off her words. You don't need proof.
Right.
You don't need proof. Scriptures say a man should trust a man's heart should be safely trust in his wife.
Right.
You don't need no, proof about it. It's I trust you.
Oh, you said he did that?
Where's he at?
Right.
You know? You will burn the city down. All because your wife did so.
This is on FaceTime calling me. Ride with me real quick.
Yeah.
Ride with me real quick.
Ride with me, bro. We gotta go somewhere.
Go ahead.
Kind. So we in the same chapter, but I'm gonna go down to First Esdras chapter 4 and verse 26.
Hold on, Doc. We're gonna get there. You can't do that. You can't do that. We're gonna get there. We like two verses away from that.
Brother tried to jump down.
Right. I like it though. We're gonna get there though. Verse 25. I got you. It says, wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. And you see that on a big level now. And he went into the spiel about what his dad told him. Men will do anything for a woman if they really, 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 really love you. They would kill for you. They would die for you. They would steal for you. They would rob for you. You know? And he tell you he'd take a long trip across the sea just to go get something for you. Hey, the king, he'll have his army go make war against another nation, another army, get the spoil just to give it to you. He would sacrifice all of these soldiers just to get you something. You know? It says, yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. And that's what you see a lot. I was talking to my friend. I said, have you ever seen a woman lord over a man? And she started explaining to me like how I didn't even have to say nothing. She was just like, and she's not in the truth. She don't really she's not in the truth, but she was like explaining like how it's wrong and how it's just not right for a woman to rule over a man and to make him do things and to play on him like that. But it's actually men out here they become servants, just for a woman.
Become a woman for your woman.
Become a woman for your woman. Yikes. Verse 27. It says, you gotta ask.
Didn't he want to touch on something on 26?
Kodash, did you want to touch on verse 26?
He ain't even in here. Where you at?
Did you want to touch on verse 26?
Nah, I was basically just like how, wicked men, they'll do anything just to, do what's right to them in their own heart to please a woman on the left hand side.
Gone.
But yeah, that's all.
All right, gone. All right, so verse 27 says, many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women. So men will go into sin just for a woman. I think it's Sirach chapter 27. I guess I'll grab it real quick to make sure. 27 and verse 1. This is just something to add in y'all bag. It says, many have sinned for a small matter. A lot of men will sin for a small matter. You know, a lot of men will go into sin just because they like a woman. Verse 28 says, and now do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him and the Pame, the king's concubine. Watch what he say, Ike. He said he's seen the king's concubine. Watch this, bro. Hey, can I check back on?
Hold on.
What happened? The phone turned down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
There we go.
Look at this. Verse 28. Can y'all hear me?
It's like I got turned down.
God, I can hear.
Okay,
Yeah, we can hear you. All right.
All right, perfect.
We can hear you.
Bro, watch what Zerubbabel say. Verse 29. It says, Yet did I see him in Apame, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Barticus, sitting at the right hand of the king. So Zerubbabel, he's seen the king, and then he's seen the concubine sitting on the right hand side of him. And watch what he's seen. Verse 30 says, and taking the crown from the king's head, took the crown from the king's head. It says, and setting it upon her own head, she also struck the king with her left hand. Who else can get away with that but a woman?
She literally just, give me this. Boom. Shut up, nigga. Boom. And then, setting his throne.
Up.
Like that. Just sitting in his throne, what is he gonna do? Like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna hit me? What is he gonna You ain't gonna touch me.
Bro, when I first read this, I was just like, what? Verse 31. Watch what happened. So you would think that the king just start or
off
had
with their head.
Right, pull it out the sheath and kill her. But 31. And yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with an open mouth. He liked it. He loved it.
Stupid ass.
He wanted her to do it again. He liked whenever his strength is taken from him. That's crazy. It says, if she laughed upon him, he laughed also. When you cracking jokes, and sometimes the joke not funny, but you see him laugh, so you like,
yeah.
That's him. He become a woman for his woman.
Yeah, she slapping. She like, you ain't gonna do nothing about it. He like,
yeah, you're right.
Baby.
That's what we call a simp.
Yeah.
A simp.
Anthony 2019 said he was a simp.
Right. That's spiritual because right there, that's the spirit. It says the king, Slakia. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter that she might be reconciled to him again. O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? Then the king and the princess looked upon another, so he began to speak of the truth. So at the end of the speech, it's not the end yet, but he's drawing close to the end, and they all looking at each other like, hey, he kind of right, man. The women is the strongest. But then he pulled out the rest of the part of his speech. Where was that? 33?
Yeah. 32.
32. It says, O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? Then the king and the princess looked upon another, so he began to speak of the truth. O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high as the heavens, swift is the sun in his course, for he compasseth the heavens round about and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great?
Hold on. Damn. Hold on. Let's read that again.
Verse 34. O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course.
Yes.
For he compasseth the heavens round about and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day.
That's basically saying that the sun goes around everything fast and goes back in one day. Damn, that's hot. All right, we'll keep going.
Verse 35. Is he not great that maketh these things? Woo! That's the shimmy right there. That's hot. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore, great is the truth and stronger than all these. It says, all the earth calleth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. So he already made his point. He could have just left it at the women and he could have won, but he took it a step further and said, but above the women, it's truth.
It's truth. And we know what the truth is actually going. He's speaking on the Most High.
Yeah,
that's what he's speaking on.
Hey.
What else? What earth tremble at? The Most High. What the angels tremble at? The Most High. There's no wickedness or unrighteousness with it. It's just truth. It's truth. Go ahead.
Ooh, that's fire though. Ain't nothing stronger than the truth, man. That's busted. All right, verse 37 says, wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them. And their unrighteousness also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. That's buzzing. He said, man, wine, women, the king, man, it's all wicked. And all of them going to die with their wickedness. But then he says the truth, it endures. And endures forever. It says, and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. Should I keep going? Where was I?
Yeah,
38.
Let's keep going.
All right, verse 39 says, with her, there is no accepting of persons or rewards. With the truth, it ain't no accepting of persons. So accepting of persons, this is an example. This is like my best friend, Aharon. And then I have somebody else. But it don't matter. It don't matter. Just this is me accepting a person. Just because he's my best friend, even though it's not the truth. No, the truth got to conquer all of that. The truth is stronger than my relationship with him. If he wrong, I'm going to tell him he wrong. I don't care if he's my best friend and this is just a random dude. Look, hey, you was wrong. Apologize. And he did me the same way. This actually happened. He made me apologize to somebody, even though we best friends.
Hey, that's in the Torah too, man. That's a law.
You can't have a false balance in judgment.
Yeah, that's an unrighteous judgment.
Unrighteous. You can't do that. It has to be truth. It has to be truth. It has to be righteous. It has to be balanced. Go sit down somewhere. My dog's Salakia.
He got his legs in and out.
Right.
Salakia.
Go ahead, King.
I got a precept going into that. This is Matthew 22:16. And they sent out unto him their disciples with their heraldings, saying, Master, we know that thou art true and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men.
That's a beautiful precept because they went up to him and they like, we know you speak the truth. You don't care about men. You're an austere man. What did Yahushua say to Peter? He said, get thee behind me, Satan. That's damn near cussing out your friend.
Right.
Get thee behind me, Satan. You care about the things of the world, not the things of the spirit. You know what I'm saying? You don't care about what the Most High want. You care about what you want. That's him having a righteous judgment on Peter at that time. He rebuked Peter. That's why it says, secret rebuke is better than open. What is it?
Open rebuke.
Open rebuke
is better than secret love.
Open rebuke is better than secret love. Yahushua was openly rebuking everybody, Pharisees, Sadducees, any and everybody, and he didn't care who you were. He damn near, I think he rebuked Mary one time, his mama. He didn't care. He said, woman, what did thou have to do with me?
Right.
It is not my time.
Right.
But you asking me to do miracles now. Bring me the water. That's what kind of spirit Yahushua was moving in. Right. He didn't care about the old, young, no.
Everybody think that Jesus is soft, but that's not the case. Y'all just ain't reading.
That nigga carefully built the whip. He carefully.
Right. He actually went
crafted.
What's that like? John chapter 2, where he actually made a scourge.
Oh my God.
And then went into the temple and start whipping people. That's Jesus who did that. That's Yahushua. That's crazy. So 39. With her, meaning with truth, with her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works.
Mm-hmm.
Every man, truth and honesty and faithfulness and loyalty, all men everywhere like those virtues. No one's ever gonna, I don't like him, he honest. That's not a real thing. He too loyal. You know? That's the spirit that truth is moving in, you know, and it endures forever. Verse 40. It says, neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the God of truth. That verse hit. Oh,
Yeah, that is right there.
That's hitting. I ain't tripping. I gotta mark that up.
I'll read verse 41.
All right, Colin.
It says, verse 41, and with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, great is truth and mighty above all things. So he made everybody in the room shout, you know, great is truth. You know, it's mighty above all things. The room was lit. Room was in the spirit.
Everybody stood up, probably was
clapping.
You know.
Verse 42. Lit. It says, then said the king unto him, ask what thou wilt more than is appointed in the writing, and we will give it thee, because thou art found wisest, and thou shalt sit next to me, and shalt be called my cousin. So at the end of the day, the third man, which was Zerubbabel, he won. He was found the wisest. His sentence was found the wisest. Women is the strongest, but above women, it's the strongest out of these three. But above women, that's the truth. You can't do nothing against it. It's the truth.
The truth. Hey, and whoever got the wisest sentence was promised to be clothed in purple. We know that purple is a royal color to show power and wealth and majesty. And he was clothed. He had to be clothed in purple.
He was called the king's cousin. That's a big thing back then.
Right. That's kin. He's family to them. Oh, you part of the royal family.
You in line for rulership, huh?
Okay, king.
That means if his son died and nobody else ruling, and his brother died and nobody else ruling, nigga, you up.
Right. Man, you know what Zerubbabel ended up asking for? Because he told him he could ask for anything more. He ended up asking I believe it's to go back to the homeland, man. Have people to go build up the walls of Jerusalem.
This is verse 43. Then said he unto the king, remember thy vow, which thou hast vowed to build Jerusalem in the day when thou camest to thy kingdom, and to send away all the vessels that were taken away out of Jerusalem, which Cyrus set apart when he vowed to destroy Babylon, and to send them again hither. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees. And now, O Lord the king, this is that which I require and which I desire of thee. And this is the princely liberty proceeding from thyself. I desire, therefore, that thou make good thy vow, the performance whereof with thine own mouth thou hast vowed to the King of heaven. Then the king stood up and kissed him, and wrote letters unto him, unto all the treasurers and lieutenants and captains and governors, that they should safely convey on their way both him and all those that go up with him to build Jerusalem. So he asked to, let's get back to work on building Jerusalem. Because if you read about this, the heathens and wicked men stopped and hindered our work from building Jerusalem. We was talking about this last night. We was going over the tabernacle and the sanctuary. They stopped and hindered our work. It was said by the first king, which was Cyrus. Yeah. But then it got hindered. Then Artaxerxes came up, then Darius, so on and so forth. And this is when we got back to work on it.
So one thing's for certain, in history, you will always write out certain things that you were doing for certain people, whether it was trades, whether it was promises or oaths. Cyrus actually put it in writing that he was going to let the Israelites go back to the homeland in Jerusalem and rebuild up the temple and build up their walls and let them live on their own again. And we know that the Most High God put it on the spirit to do that. Now, years down the line, it's not like that because they prevented us from doing it. but after this wise sentence. And this is why wisdom is more important than anything. Wisdom is more important than everything. It's better than money. You know, it's better than everything, because through his wisdom, we was able to go back to our homeland and build up Jerusalem again. That's busting. You know.
Precept.
Go ahead.
Hey, okay, go ahead.
Lakia. This is Ecclesiastes 9:18. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one enemy for as much good. You know, we didn't go back to Jerusalem and build our temple by having to conquer and take over. No, we didn't do that. We just had wisdom. He had the wisest saying, so guess what? We get to go back. That's how that go. But go ahead, Cap.
It's not King. Captain DeBar.
Captain DeBar.
Salakia, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna make one point. I was just gonna say, off of what my heart said, that you can be saved through wisdom.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I kicked it off with Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, seek wisdom. And with all that getting, get understanding. It's this precept that I was trying to remember the other day and I slipped my mind. But it says, through wisdom, a man buildeth and establisheth a house. You know? Hey, it tell you in Proverbs chapter 16:7, when a man's ways please the Lord, what? He maketh even his
enemies to be at peace with thee.
Hey, Jeremiah chapter 15:11, it tell you he was going to make our enemies tend and minister unto us. You know? And we seen that in history. We running from our slave masters, and you had other white people trying to help us get away from them, man.
Yeah.
You know,
if we kept the commandments, which is wisdom, he would make our enemies 7 ways before our face.
Thanks. Hey, so tonight's lesson, the bulk of it was to go through 3rd and 4th Esdras, and we did that. But it was like some key stuff I wanted to acknowledge. It's kind of been on my spirit because I know a lot of time women feel what's a good word? Like not so important or less than, or they feel like their responsibilities, or they don't feel respected, or they just feel like diminished. They just feel torn down and broken down from making the change from being in the world, and then all of a sudden coming to the truth and having to listen to men and having to get in line and actually be in order. It's a drastic change, and sometimes the change will make you feel like you're less than, or you're not important, or we don't care. I know y'all probably thinking of words that I don't have in my head, but you know, if my wife was here, you know, I ask her honestly.
Because in the world, women get set on a pedestal.
Ooh, say that again, King. Say that again. Say that again.
In the world, women get set on a pedestal. They get set up high. You know, the Esau want the women to be set up high. But you know, what does the Most High want? You know, that's all what it boiled down to.
So the other night, me and Aharon, we actually did a little Wisdom Wednesday. It was about an hour, and we just read the first few verses of 1 Peter chapter 3, and it's actually going into how a woman operates when she's moving in a sincere fashion. She has a lot of power, and it's a good example. Peter made it so beautiful. And First Esdras chapter 4, it's a beautiful balance, because First Esdras chapter 4 is kind of giving you the bad part of how strong a woman is, how she can make a man fall. Hey, First Peter's kind of building a woman up. She's so powerful, she can build other women up and other men up, you know. And it says it's not through because we know that it's not really good for a woman to just go out and do her own thing and start trying to do it her own way and pave her own path. And she want to teach the man how to be a man when she don't know how to be a woman. But Peter gives an excellent example on how these things should be, how you should go about it. And I'll kind of run through it, and we'll touch on it a little bit, and then we'll close up. So 1 Peter chapter 3:1 says, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may be won. It's like, yeah, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. So period, point blank, The women are supposed to be in line and in order underneath their husbands. Everybody understand that, because a man is supposed to guide the household. It says, so if that woman runs into another woman who doesn't really believe in the words of God, that woman can still be won over by the woman that's in the truth. Not because she's going to all of these precepts and she can break down this chapter, she can do this. That's not how you bring a woman in the truth. That does play a part, but she actually is won over and is fully compelled to come into the truth and to change her life and to actually get in line and get in order, and find herself a man and actually relearn how to be a woman based off of your actions, not by what you say. You know, you got to live a pure life. Go ahead.
I don't want to add, because women think totally different than how men think, you know. Going to the precepts and this and that may be how you can get a brother in the truth. That's maybe how the best way to get a brother in the truth, but it may not be the best way to get a woman in the truth, you know. So we just got to meditate on ways to get people in the truth. For a woman, that may not be it. Like it, some women, yes, some women, no.
Yeah.
I don't know how women think, but I know they don't think like us. That's all I can say.
I would say that it is important for women to get the words of the Bible, because
of course,
that's the words of truth. It's
So,
you got to be washed by the word. So, but a big level of it, like for a woman, because women, you know what we do every week. We go out to camp. We hold camp for a few hours. We teaching people. We talking to people throughout the week. We doing videos. We still talking to people. We always trying to put in the work. Women, y'all always got to be putting on the work too. But how y'all go about it is going to be a little different from us, because y'all don't have the power that we have. Y'all have y'all power. So whenever we tell a woman like, "Hey, you got to get in order," you can't do that. It's not to say you ain't got no power, shut up. It's to say, "Hey, look, your power is right here. Don't try and dabble in the power that the Most High God gave us when you got this right here." You know, that's like you got a plate of food, but you gonna not eat your food. You gonna go over here and eat this food. No, you gonna starve all day just because you want what this person got. Let your husband be a husband and you be a woman, and you live a pure and sincere life to the best of your abilities. That way, women will be fully persuaded to come into the truth and live a life like you. You got something?
So lock you out of
go ahead, King.
This is a precept to what you're speaking on.
Okay, Con.
This is Titus chapter 2. I'm gonna read 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things." Verse 4, "that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children."
Con, touch on it, King.
I mean, clear cut, you know, we got to separate ourselves, even men, but even the women, like you say, it's a whole ordeal that y'all have to separate yourselves too, not to be dabbling in these fake doctrines, not to even be with dealing with drinking too much. Women, you know, some women want to, you know, drink too much, and to, you know, kind of be more humble and pleasing to their husband. Like you said, it's a pecking order, and that should be your first appeasing, because if you want to appease the Most High, you're going to appease your husband. Then you're going to teach, you know, how to love your children, because some women out here, you know, I know one myself that truly don't even love their own kids, like, you know. So
Hey.
what's more better to be a teacher, to show women how to be holy, how to be good to their husband, and how to take care of their home and take care of their children.
Hey, sometimes saying less is saying more, and that's the kind of power that y'all have. Hey, it's different whenever you see a woman. Hey, you said this the other night, and it was in my spirit. You was going into righteous covetous.
Oh, righteous jealousy.
Right.
It's a righteous jealousy. Like I said, women think different. So say there's one woman in the world, see the sister in the truth, you know, and it ain't really as in the truth as she got all this and all that on. Nah, it's a woman in the truth that she loves her husband. You know, she's taking care of her husband. They're not arguing. She got on her dress. She's looking like a woman, and she holds herself like a woman. You know, her conversation is meek, humble, sincere. It's totally different. You know, some women get a righteous jealousy and be like, damn, I want to be like her.
I got to
You know?
change.
I have to change. I want to be holy like that. You know?
I want to
So
relate
like,
to my husband. You know,
Exactly.
I want peace in my house like that. Go ahead,
so
King.
like, in 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 49, it speaks on exactly what you're saying. It says, like as a whore envieth a righteous, honest, virtuous woman.
Hold on, where you at?
2nd Ezra 16, verse 49.
All right, I gotta put. Hold on, like, let me get there because I ain't never seen that one. This boy been studying.
Damn, it say that.
Say that. I
Say
gotta.
that.
I know some fire when I see it. 1649. Go ahead, King.
Khan, you want me to read it again?
Yeah, read that again, man.
2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 41. It says, like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman.
Oh my God.
That's in there. We can't make this up on the fly like this. That's the truth, man.
Lucky. I got a precept.
Oh, hold on, man. I gotta sit on that because what? Just like a hoe, she gonna envy a right and honest and virtuous woman.
So like I can kind of explain.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You know how they got the Megan Stallions and whatnot. Honestly and truly, they teach the world to be this whore and rebel and woo woo woo. But at the end of the day, them women really want a husband. They really want somebody ahead. They honestly do. They just be popping that shit. You know what I mean? So like,
Hey, Beyonce, she make these songs on Undermine, you know, all of these
all
whole
your
songs.
single ladies,
All
your
yeah.
single
But
ladies.
this hoe she got a man at home. She married. You know, so these things that they promoting is really for the birds, and it's really a trap, and it's really set up that way to make you fall. You know, so you got to put your spiritual glasses on, and you got to be able to see through the bullshit. Honestly, you know. Hey, that's why you heard songs like this. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, these hoes that's out here, they don't really want to be hoes. They really want to change their life sometimes and get a family, you know, and have a red door and a white picket fence and have kids and have a damn golden retriever.
Yeah.
You know, that's really what they be wanting. You know, so don't get caught up in that. Man, find you a husband. You know, let the Lord give you a wife, you know. Them things is hey, and when the Lord do give you a husband, don't ask the Lord for a husband so you can get a husband and not listen to him.
Ooh, not take the benefit that comes with a husband.
You want a husband for no reason.
Right.
Get a husband so he can actually guide you and protect you. Don't take him as your husband if you don't think he has those qualities. You know, I could go more. We could go in. We could just at this point, we can just spit facts. We can just talk game right now. We ain't even gotta pull out 10,000 precepts. Go ahead though, King Kodash. You holding some, right?
Khan.
Go ahead.
Khan, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 14.
Right.
Says, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Con. Give me Proverbs 16 and 24. Yeah, that feel right. So this scripture right here, read it again, Baba Kasha.
Khan, Sirach chapter 26 and verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Con. So a silent and a loving woman, period, point blank, is a gift of the Lord. We see here that it's normalized for women to backtalk, talk shit, hit they men, talk crazy to them, spit on them. I seen all of that. I seen like family members. Man, I got crazy stories about this kind of stuff, man. Where a man is getting held by his balls like this by his wife. Don't move, nigga.
You said something?
Sit down.
Really?
Sit down. Was she talking to him like
now?
That? Right.
Go sleep on the couch.
Right. Go sleep on the couch. Right. But it tells you that a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, man. That's a gift. And it says, and there's nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. And you can't put a price tag on a woman like that, who actually is willing to learn, willing to change, willing to admit when she's wrong. It's nothing. You can't put nothing past a woman like that.
Shit, she damn there for the Lord. She probably don't even got a husband.
She damn near too good for you. You know?
Really, that's
it's
what I'm
nothing
saying.
better than a woman like that. And how much more do you think? A lot of times you see women wanting their men to change things about themselves. Con, meet me halfway. Ladies, meet me halfway. A lot of times you see women wanting their men to change certain characteristics about themselves on a smaller or even to a large level. I understand. There's certain things that I find displeasing that my wife would do, and I want her to change some things on a smaller or a larger level. So at a point, I can meet me halfway. Now, you being a woman and you supposing to be after your desires are supposed to be after the man, according to Genesis 3:16. How do you get that man to actually want to change and do those things for you? Is it by you saying, nigga, shut the hell up, sit down, I'm not taking that bullshit? No, it's by you living a godly life. It's about you being pure. It's about you having that gentle and submissive and spirit. Hey, you got to be so G where you can be like, all right, I'm going to take it on. Where he do something wrong and you take it so cold and you be like, okay, but are you hungry though?
Yeah, really.
He might have to be like, well, damn, I might not deserve her. I need to change.
That's what's up. You want something to eat?
And you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's what First Peter is talking about, man. We got to go back to it. Because
I didn't felt that way.
Huh?
I said I didn't felt that way.
For real, like, dang, she go too hard. If I don't get my shit together,
It's gonna be scary.
And she didn't have to say anything, King. That's the next level. That's why it tells you that the wives will win them over without words, by her actions. That's where your strength is. It says, 1 Peter 3:2 says, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. So when men or women see how you live your life in a sincere and purity, and your conversation is pure and it's not all of the damn period. Bitches always saying that period.
Yeah, period.
Like
that shit was annoying as hell.
Like it ain't it. And it says coupled with fear. And at the end of the day, it's coupled with fear because you at the end of the day believe in the Most High God. It says, whose adorning, let it not be the outward adorning of the plaiting of hair and of wearing gold or putting on apparel. Because it's a beautiful thing when a woman can actually put on those things and make herself look beautiful on a physical level. But those aren't the things that really matters when a cookie crumble. Me and Captain DeBar, we talk about these kind of things. We're like, man, I know every dude has actually said this. Yeah, she fine, but she ugly.
Really?
She pretty, but she ugly as hell. Her damn attitude, bro, is crazy.
You'll hear that.
What I'm gonna do with that?
Really?
Well, I don't want to deal with that. Me and DeBar was talking about this. Would you rather take an ugly girl that listen or a pretty girl that is disobedient? You know what we say every time?
Give me the ugly
girl.
Yeah.
We're gonna take it. We're gonna deal with it.
Ugly chick.
I'm for real. We had these this is our conversations. It's biblical though. I'm gonna be honest. So women, you don't win over other women just because you put it on a dress or a head wrap, or you got the nose jewel and you got a nice little bracelet and a pinky ring on. No, that's not how you bring other women in the truth. You bring them in the truth by actually walking in that spirit, man. By having the fruits of the spirit, by being pure, by being gentle, by teaching them how to be submissive, showing them what real love is, teaching them how to actually love a man. A lot of our moms didn't really know how to love a man. That's why they ain't with a man. It says, but let it be the hidden man of the heart. This is how women do the work. This is how y'all throw the bait in there and y'all reel them in the truth. It says, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. Everybody should have said, He said, don't let it be with corruption. It should be with incorruption. And you got a ornament. You wearing a whole robe, and it's meek. It's gentle. It's delicate.
Tender.
Tender. You know?
Honest.
Loving.
Obedient.
Caring. You know, passionate. That's the kind of clothing that y'all should be putting on in the morning, not the spandex tights, the sandals that got the little fluff balls on them. You know what I'm talking about? Women actually wearing the sandals with the little fur on them, and then they get the gel and they scoop, and she got the
throw it all the way back,
right,
like that.
She didn't use the whole thing of gel, you know,
looking surprised,
and then her eyelashes go out here. And she think that that's going to bring other women in the truth. That's not how you do the work, sis. It tells you that you actually have to become a new creature. It tells you, this is how it's worded. Even though it's talking about the women, it's still worded like this in a masculine form. It says, but let it be the hidden man of the heart. And your heart, meaning your mind, actually you can't just act it out. Whenever you really fall into your role 100%, it's not going to be an act or a front, or you can do it sometimes. It's going to be you. That's you being renewed and changed, where you're not acting. You're not going through the motions. You actually became this woman, and you put on the clothes. You actually put that in your spirit now. You actually moving like that. It's not just you faking or going through the motions, or you know it's in the Bible and that's a precept and you know where it is. No, that's who you are now. You actually put that in yourself, man. You taught yourself how to do that. You can't just fake it no more. And whenever you really start believing that's who you are, and you really a gentle, calm, and loving, and caring, and passionate woman for your man and for your household and for everybody out here in the world, especially for your people, and other people are going to start to gravitate towards you. Women are going to just be drawn toward you. Like, how do I become this?
That's too much of a strong spirit not to.
Come on now, man. And for y'all ladies that's looking for husbands, this is what they looking for. This is what they looking for. Not for you to just put on a head wrap or a skirt or a dress. You know, at this point, to hell with the skirt and the dress. I want a woman who naturally is submissive, who naturally is passionate, who naturally just knows how to love a man, who actually just cares about his well-being, who can actually make him feel like a king.
That's how my wife caught me.
What? Right.
I'm trying to find somebody to treat like a king.
That's Mary. Hey, what's the little button? The red button?
Yeah.
You know, but Mary. Right. It says, look at how it's worded, though. Like, am I tripping? It says, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. So this isn't just something that's valuable to men. It's valuable to God that you move in this kind of fashion. This is what it is. I can't make this up, man. That's what it say, which is in the sight of God of great price. Give me that in Proverbs 31. No, that's a different one.
Oh.
I know. I told you to get 16. Proverbs 31. That's the classic in there. Should be like verse 7 or 10. I'll be forgetting. I ain't been in 31 in a minute.
What you mean? There's a lot of shit in there that's good.
10.
God, this is Proverbs 31:10. It says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
A virtuous woman is a woman who has morality, who has morals, who set her standard way up here. She has standards, not only for her husband, but for herself. You got to have them virtues to be a virtuous woman. Virtues would consist of purity, gentleness, submissiveness, quietness, calmness, passionate. You know, those is virtues. Patient. Patience is a virtue. That's a virtue you're supposed to add to yourself as a woman. You know, if your husband a hothead, Can you be the hothead too? No, you be patient and you be loving and you show him with your actions, like, look, it's better for you to be this way. This is why, King.
Mm-hmm.
And you be patient with him if you really want him to be patient. If you want him to learn them things, you got to be the light, you know? Sometimes it is like that. Man, I learned lessons from my wife I would never think. And, you know, every time I learned something from my wife, she didn't pull out a scripture. Dead serious. She didn't show me in the Bible. She showed me with her actions. Every time. It says, for after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. So the holy women of old time, they actually clothed themselves with the same things, with the same humble and meek spirits. That's what it means when it says they adorn themselves. And being in subjection to their own husbands, verse 6 says, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. So Sarah, she was righteous. She was obedient. She went as far to even call her husband, her head, Lord, my Lord, you know.
Humble ass spirit right there.
Right, you know, as you wish, you know, you want it that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it that way, you know. And he said, you're going to be a daughter of Sarah if you do the same things, you know. If you put on them kind of the meekness, the patience and the loving and the passion and the caring and the
quietness.
Right, man. It says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. And it's important that you deal with your wife. And I got this from Captain Jeremiah. And it's teaching me too. Deal with your wife at her speed. It's a fact that men, when it comes to logic, when it comes to like common sense or wisdom, when you put the scale and the balance as a whole, men are usually more logical. They're usually smarter. They're usually wiser. Now, there's going to be some cases where you have a woman that's smarter than a man or more logical than a man. It is cases like that. But on the whole, men are usually the stronger vessels than the wife. That's why they lead the household. You know, so as you being the head, you have to sometimes break bread and deal with your wife at her speed.
Yeah.
You know, because you all the way on 65, like you moving at that speed, 65 miles per hour, but your wife, she's still at 50. You got to slow down a little bit, break bread with her, teach her, guide her, and tell her, look, you might not understand why I'm doing it like this yet, you know, and you kind of show her why she might not get it yet. Okay. Boom. You got to go back down and meet her. Look, I'm doing it this way because of this. Just be patient. Boom. She starts to get it. You got to jump back down. That's what it is. As you being the stronger vessel and being the head of the household, like that's you counting the cost. You know, you got to do it. No ifs, ands, especially if you want your prayers to be heard. You know, you got to deal with your wife according to knowledge. I mean, according to the Bible, according to the law, statutes, and commandments, according to righteousness. You know, I'm gonna keep going. You got something? Verse 8 says, finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of the other. And you and your partner should definitely be able to have compassion for each other. Y'all should be in the same mindset. You know, I got this from I know. He said it should be to a point where you can anticipate what your husband wants before he acts, because you're moving in the same mindset as him. You know, because your desire is supposed to be towards your husband. It says, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrarize blessings, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing. So a lot of times you see in relationships that it's a lot of evil for evil. It's a lot of contentions. Mm-hmm. Hey, you know, we got to elaborate on this, man. We're going to close up soon. We've been in here for 2 hours. So a lot of times you'll see a man do something, and he didn't really do it on purpose. He's just being a man. But the woman gets hurt. You know what the woman does?
I gotta get this nigga back.
It's spite. It's rendering evil. Women will actually meditate on how to hurt you. Men that do it on accident, like, oh damn, so lucky of me. When I did it, I was thinking about this. I didn't really know it was gonna hit you like that. My bad. I'll work on it.
Women meditate on it, and then they'd be talking to their girls. They're like, I'm gonna forgive him. I'm gonna let him know I forgive him, and I'm gonna do all this special stuff for him. Have him love me, and then I'm gonna sleep with his best friend. What? Wait a minute. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Bro, women are actually like that.
Yeah.
Women are actually like that. Hey, men can do stuff like that, but what from experience, the majority of times what I see is usually the women who does more things out of spite to actually hurt their partner.
Yeah. Women cheat more, just don't get caught.
Oof.
And that lets you know they meditate on it. Men cheat and we get caught. Why? Because we don't meditate. It's like I say cheat. Because in the world, it's cheating.
Yeah.
But the truth, it ain't
We
really
know.
cheating. We all get the point.
Right.
But, women cheat more, but they don't get caught. When men cheat, they don't be thinking about it. It's like, I'm either drunk, I'm not really thinking. She came up to me, some stuff like that.
But yeah, they be strategic with it.
Go ahead, say it again.
They be strategizing with it. They be having a whole thing made up with their girl. Yeah, you gonna say that we was over here shopping and whoop-de bam bam.
Yep. She makes
we
sure
ain't thinking like that. Like you said, we might slip up and boom. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I got one for you. You can break it down. This is Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 30. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 30. Salakia.
That is.
30 and 20. It says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wickedness.
The adulterous woman, the woman that cheats and commits adultery on her husband, she wipes her mouth and say, I ain't did nothing. You know what the hell you was doing. you know what you was doing. It says she wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wickedness. I ain't even trying to be so explicit, but the Bible is saying what it's saying. The whole wipes her mouth, cleans up, that's gross, and says, I ain't did no wickedness, and then go kiss her husband.
Hey, that goes into also them being strategic, because why would she be able to, the man obviously don't know for her to say that, I ain't did nothing.
Yeah. Because
she didn't strategize at all. So she can just tell you that, like, I ain't did nothing.
Hey, for real, women she does make sure every man she sleep with is out of state.
Some crazy.
I'm about to say half the time we do something, the woman know we didn't did it. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't put no thought into it.
Right. They meant it though.
Hey, hey, men, they'll sleep with another woman because they like that woman. The woman, she'll sleep with another man because, like you said earlier, because she getting back at him.
Right.
I got a precept.
That hurt, man. Go ahead, King.
This is Sirach. Sirach chapter 25 and 13. It says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Simply because she is so crafty, she's premeditated everything. She'll sleep with 5 brothers before you ever find out she slept with 1. Oh my God. And you'll be so in love with her, burning in love with her. And she'll treat you like that.
Willing to do anything for her.
Yeah. Willing to give up.
Hey, they so cold. So like they so cold right now that they be having they female friends as they girlfriends the whole time in your face. Like they just friends and she bang her up.
Man, it really get like that. So we showing you how much strength a woman has. On the good side and on the bad side, a woman can pull a man down. A woman can take a strong, mighty man and pull him down to nothing. But a woman can also take an average man and help lift him up into a strong, mighty king. That's the strength of a woman. That's the glory of a woman. That's something to glory in. So this is Proverbs 12 and 4. It says, a virtuous woman So a virtuous woman, again, is a woman who has virtues and morality, morals. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones. So what is a crown? Like a crown is something that who wears it?
Kings.
Hey, and when you look at a king, is he just anybody?
Oh, this is a man with power.
This is that man. This is that guy. Don't get no better than a king. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. You feel me? A virtuous woman is like you making this man a king. You're that valuable. Every king needs a crown, right? Every king needs a kingdom. Look, you are that valuable. You like a crown. Why? Because a woman a virtuous woman is far above rubies. You're a crown to that man. You're important. You're really important. Jeremiah said, strong families, strong households is what build up a strong nation or strong kingdom. And that hit my spirit, man. So we're trying to build up a strong family. Hey, man, and your break that y'all throwing in is so important. Y'all play. Without you being a strong pillar of rest for your man, we're not going to have a strong family. If we don't have families, we're not going to have a strong nation. You know, if we can't build up this nation, we're not going to get out of this captivity. You, look, the ball is in your hands. You know, you got to shoot or shoot, you know. What you got, though?
Shoot, God. Beside this one. It says, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be doubled. The Most High gave the woman power to double a man's life. That's a gift. The woman had that gift. That's in their hand. We don't got that gift. I can't double this brother's life. I just can't. That's something only his wife can do. If she's a virtuous woman, of course. She can double a man's life. That's powerful. Verse 2. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
That's bad.
I don't even got to speak on that. You got it. I mean, just saying what it's saying.
Look, man.
Like, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I was gonna give just an example and bring out a precept to who a virtuous woman would be.
Go ahead.
We got an example would be Ruth, and I will go to Ruth chapter 3 verse 11, and it says, "And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest, for all the city of my people doeth know that thou art a virtuous woman." So if women don't even really know example of what a virtuous woman is, they can go to the account of Ruth.
Con. Hey, now I know who to call whenever we finna dive deep on a ladies' night. I'm gonna hit up Yadadiah because boy, that boy be on it. That's right. Be like Jeremiah, Brother They Love, Captain DeBar, Prophecies, General Hezekiah, Israelite 101, the basics, Yadadiah, ladies' night. For real though, man.
You crazy. Hey, I got one more precept.
All right, go ahead.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. I think I'm gonna read down to verse 11.
All right, come.
Right. It says 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also, that the women adore themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. Verse 10, but which becomes women professing godliness with good works. Verse 11, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. You can break that out.
You want me to break it down?
Okay.
So what Timothy is trying to get y'all to understand is that women have a role, and their role is the same thing that Peter elaborated on 1 Peter chapter 3. y'all are supposed to be submissive. Y'all supposed to be that that helpmeet for your man, and it's not about you putting on all of these nice clothes and making it look good. And no, you actually got to be walking in that kind of spirit. You know, it's not about you braiding your hair, then nice apparel and jewelry. You know, you actually got to be moving in that spirit, man. Was it another part on there that I ain't really elaborate on it? So like, yeah. It says, hey, and another key point is modest apparel. That's important. It says, verse 10, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. So you actually gotta actually have man, it's a scripture that I was just thinking of, but I can't word it perfectly. Basically, you want to make sure you have good works behind you. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Hey, a woman is supposed to be in silence with all subjection, especially to her husband. Let him lead. That's all it comes down to, is order. And this is one of the things I elaborated on the other night. On certain levels, and when it comes to power, on certain levels, it's like this, you know, but it's really like this because of order. If you can understand, you have power, but you got to use your power in order. Now, if you're a woman who's like, I ain't got to listen to you, nigga. You can't tell me what to do, nigga. You think I'm dumb, nigga? You're not finna play me like that, nigga. Then you wanting to be in order is going to feel like slavery. It's going to feel like captivity. It's going to feel like bondage. But if you're a woman who actually knows what a woman looks like and the things that's required of you, it's not going to be us forcing you, or the Most High God forcing you to come down here. You're going to willingly want to be right here, because it's not going to be, I don't got to listen to you, nigga. I can do just as many push-ups as you, nigga. It's going to be, I want to be here, King, because I want you to guide the household. I want you, you know, I want to be your peace, King. Let me be your pillar of rest. Let me love you like this. Let me hold this down. I know you got to go out here and do this. I'm going to be right here. I'm going to have your back. When you fighting demons in front, look, I got your 6. And it's not going to be, I don't want to be down here. It's going to be, let me be right here. I got you. You know? Go ahead, King.
Exactly what you're saying. He teaches that in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. I'll read down to 24.
Okay, come.
It says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Verse 23. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Verse 24. Therefore, as the church is subject unto the Christ, so let the wives be to their own husband in everything.
Hey, the fact of the matter is, the order is, it's always going to be order, order, order. And every time you're going to see, it's going to say, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. And you got to make sure you're getting you a man who actually doing it in order, because you want to make sure you're following him as you follow on the Lord. It says the men, and look, some women to be like, I don't want to listen to this nigga. Look, look, niggas got to listen too. You think we just get to do whatever we want? No, we got somebody we got to answer to. We got somebody we got to fall in line underneath.
Or die.
It is what it is, right? Repent or die, nigga. You know? Hey, so just how the church, which is Israelites as a whole, particularly the men, just how the church is subject unto Yahushua, it's the same way women are supposed to be in order and subject to their husbands, of course. Which is like, basically everybody already should understand this, you know. But I ain't trying to beat up a dead horse. You got anything? Con. So this was it was supposed to be a little exhortation to show women that, hey, look, y'all got power. We got to learn how to utilize it in a good way and not in a bad way. Y'all are more than, not less than. You feel me? Let's get Sirach chapter 43 and 30.
This Sirach chapter 43 and 30. It says, when you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for you can never
go far enough.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and 58 says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Khan. So with that, we're going to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashi.
Mashiach, Yahweh Shah.
Like General Hezekiah always say, never forget
Death to a mark.
Shalom, my brag, my Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom, Master Kai.
Khan.